dignitaries in the dais, Honorable former Prime Minister of India, Shri H.D. Devegowda ji, President of the B.PAC, Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, Vice President of B.PAC, Shri T.V. Mohandas Pai, Srimati Leelavati Prasad, Shri K. Jayaraj, Srimati Revati Ashok, dignitaries in the dais, the audience, graduating students from B.CLIP, invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Since I started reading the preamble of the Constitution of India before the program started, for you graduating students, let me bring to your knowledge some incidents that took place in the Constituent Assembly, which is the preceding organization to the present Parliament. In 1946, in anticipation of getting independence to this country, our elders created a body called the Constituent Assembly. The proceedings went on from 1946 to November 24th, 1949. Very dignified proceedings. Not once the members walked out, not once there was any halagulla, shouting, nothing. Everybody discussed their views and decision was taken on the merits rather than on affiliation to anybody. I'll place before you two incidents that took place. One was soon after the assembly was convened. The first issue that came for consideration was what type of a political system that this country should adopt. There were many political systems internationally. There was the monarchy, there was the dictatorship, there was ism-based political system, communism, capitalism, socialism. In the middle was another political system called democracy. Our elders pleaded by saying we Indians were never ever independent. We were under the rules of Rajas, Maharajas, Zamindars, foreigners. They made the laws that they liked without consulting the people, and the people perforce had to obey the law, otherwise they were punished. In that background, our elders spoke. Let us adopt a political system by which every Indian feels this country is mine. This country is by me and for me. And the political system, the democracy, was there in existence then. The meaning of the word democracy then was government of the people, by the people, for the people. Our elders adopted that political system. Soon thereafter, another issue came for consideration before the Constituent Assembly. The question was whether after we accept democracy as the political system of this country, whether a person who wants to represent a constituency must have educational qualification or not. Many elders said a person representing my constituency must have the capacity to understand the problems of the constituency and to find a solution for that, and take the solution problem to the assembly or the parliament and find a solution. For that, they said, there is a need for some educational qualification. The editor of the Constituent Assembly debate writes, practically everybody in the assembly was willing to accept that suggestion that there should be minimum educational qualification for a person to contest election. A little later, one member stood up and he addressed the chair. President, sir, recently we adopted democracy as the political system of this country. And you said the meaning of the word democracy was government of the people, by the people, for the people. Today, sir, that's in 1946. He said the population of our country is 40 crores. And out of 40 crores, 80% of Indians are total illiterates. Sir, are you reserving this democracy for 20% of the literates? He asked a question. The assembly became stunned. There was nobody to rebut that statement of the honorable member. Then a little later, none other than Baba Saheb Ambedkar stood up and said, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I never looked at this problem from the point of view with which the honorable member is looking at. He is right. Democracy cannot be reserved for any class of people. Democracy is the right of every Indian, he says. My dear students, or the graduating students, why I am placing before you is, there are certain issues which are beyond political parties. Certain issues which concerns the nation, where your party considerations should never work. And ultimately, it's the welfare of the nation that comes into play. What's happening today? We have been watching the proceedings. I'm not a politician. I'm a critic. The last winter session in Lok Sabha, 20 plus days went on, except one bill which was passed without discussion, the handicap bill. The rest of the 20 plus days, not a single bill was passed in the parliament. Not a discussion was taken up in the parliament. Why? Because we have lost our moral values. We think we are superior to everybody if once you are elected. But that is not democracy. Times of India has stated 1 day's proceedings in the Lok Sabha cost 10 crores of rupees. Rajya Sabha separately. How much money has been spent on the so-called democratic institutions in this country? Look at the contradiction in terms. We fight for what our party stands for. An example I'll give it. In 2012, then the UPA government was in power, and that government presented the GST bill, the Goods Services Tax Bill. The economic experts said, if GST is implemented, the GDP of the country will go by at least 2 to 2.5%. But then the NDA government, NDA party, which was in the opposition, didn't allow that bill to be presented. 2016, NDA is in power. NDA presents the same bill, GST, with little modification. The UPA says, no, you didn't allow us to do that. We won't allow you to do that. This is not democracy. You have your party affiliations, you have your commitments in various means, but country stands first. I'm saying this because most of you may not be politicians today. You are likely to become politicians in the days to come. Please have some sense of responsibility. See, we live in a society, today we live in a society which respects money and power only, nothing else. Honesty has no meaning. You talk about an honest man, says, useless chap, he doesn't eat, he doesn't allow others to eat. That's the definition of honesty today. Change this. Build a society which respects honesty, which boycotts the corrupt. That's the society in which we have to live. Otherwise, you cannot. Let me just give an example of greed in our country and I'll conclude my address. Look at, see, how much greed has grown in this country. In 50s, there was a scam called Jeep scam. The country lost 52 lakhs of rupees in purchasing Jeep vehicles for the Indian soldiers. Thereafter, every year, 1 or 2 scams came out to the public domain. The Dalmia scam of Bharat Bank, Nagarwala scam of Central Bank, Mundra scam of LIC. Every time the scam amount came to the public domain, the number of zeros started growing in that. In 1980, there was another scam called the Bofors. Country lost 64 crores of rupees in that scam. 2010, we had 2 scams. Commonwealth Games, 70,000 crores were lost to this country. 2G scam, 1,76,000 crores. These figures are not mine. These figures are the figures given by the constitutional authority called CAG to the government of India. 2012 Colgate, 1,86,000 crores, swallowed by a few people in power. Compare this figure with the annual budget of the state of Karnataka for 2016-2017 for 6.5 crores of people, for 4 lakh government employees for their salary and for development. That figure is, 1 year figure is 1,62,000 crores only. For the entire state of Karnataka. If you want to be the future leaders, political leaders, do understand that is not a post you are entering into to make money. Today, the elected representatives are paid fabulously. Be satisfied with that. Don't put your hand into somebody's pocket and steal. Don't put stone in the stomach of somebody else and make your money. After my retirement, I've been to more than 900 educational institutions to interact with the students and to inculcate only 2 values. Contentment, what we call tripti in vernacular, and humanism. You don't have contentment, you get a disease called greed. It has no treatment. However much you earn, it won't be enough for you. You want more and more. Humanism, we are not bound to a species called humans. There is no species called human. ಮಾನವ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ರು ಹಿರಿಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನೇ ಆಗು ನಿನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದವನಾಗು, ಆದರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಮಾನವನಾಗು ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಮಾನವೀಯತೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಸಮಾಜ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೇಳ ಬಯಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಒಬ್ಬರು ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ನ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ನ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಮಾಜಿ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ CID ಅವರು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಆತ ನನ್ನ ಸಮುದಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿದವನು, ನನಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆತನನ್ನು ರಕ್ಷಿಸುವಂಥ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ನನ್ನ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ. ಇದು ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಅದರ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಯಾರೂ ಆಡಳಿತದಲ್ಲಿರೋರು ಇಷ್ಟರವರೆಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ತಿರಸ್ಕರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, perform your duties with some responsibility. Be a leader, but lead with some principles. With these few words, I thank the management for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.